Hey, what's good, everybody? It's hotter than Hell's Kitchen over here because we have a heat wave over here in Kolkata. But I'm here to shoot another video, man. Let's get started today. Yeah, let's get started today. I am Uncle Makara, all relations. Today we're speaking all about how I went from a spiritual junkie, okay, a spiritual self-help guy, into more of a spiritual pioneer, okay? So this is the understanding right now. Is how I did that, how I processed through that, how I made it natural for me to accelerate in this process. So this is basically a message, by the way, guys. This was the full moon last night, okay? For me, it was at like 5:30 a.m. or something like that here in Kolkata. But I caught it. I caught a glimpse of it. And I just wanted to share that with you guys. It was pink, but I don't know why the camera picked it up as yellow, probably to remind me of my sacral path working, because that's my main chakra point that I choose to um, basically I choose to devote myself to learning most about that chakra point throughout my life. It's got the most value there for me um, because I know my sexuality is a place of transformation with the Pluto's energy. And I'm a Scorpio myself with a Scorpio full moon, feeling this intensity, right? And yeah, just getting to understand that level of like, yeah, there's also a super ego and like a feeling of restriction, you know, and I've got to really free myself at this time. Please excuse the sweatiness, okay? Don't sweat the petty things, don't pet the sweaty things, okay? And let's get started. So this is mainly a message to my younger self. If you're watching, this will help you, okay? So get ready, get out a pen, okay? Get caffeinated. Let's get started. Hmm. Again, you don't have to. You can choose to if you want to. Okay. So, are you watching spiritual video after spiritual video, trying to gain something out of it? Okay. This feeling of I'm collecting all of these tools so that I become the master, right? It's the spiritual ego trip that you've got to tap into and start to understand more and more. Okay. Because this thing will start to come up again and again in your life. Okay. It will show up in multiple ways. Whereas I believe if you're younger, you got to focus on the things in the physical world, okay? Like going to the gym, career, finances, making lots of money. But a lot of spiritual content, they denounce material desires, right? It's not about the sex. It's not about the cars. It's not about the money, you know? But I think the person who's telling you about that spiritual guru online or whatever, he's achieved all those material things. So what you talking about, bro? He's just not attached to it, right? So he's trying to speak about attachment, and here you are thinking you can't drive a BMW or something, right? So business, career, physique when you're younger, of course, but also understand that you got to alleviate your own pain because that's where money is created, right? And so pain is alleviated when your problems are solved. I believe that was that Charlie Munger? I don't know. Someone that I read came across recently. Maybe it was like a video I watched. Um, Chakras, okay? You got to understand chakras. So this is really what helped me. I used to be very, very confused about all of this. When I first started, I didn't understand energy work, and I went into it with a lot of skepticism. I was like, I'm not sure what I'm doing. I have all this background, this knowledge, but it's not this. There's a difference between IQ, which is like, I probably have an average IQ. I haven't really checked. Um, or maybe it's higher. I have no idea. I like to think I'm intelligent. I don't know. Uh, Probably a dumbass in some certain fields. However, my EQ is much greater. So I was made for a different style of learning, a different way of life. And I got to feel comfortable with that, right? So the more and more other people were telling me, this is the doctrine, these are the laws, this is the teacher, these are the gurus, these are the processes that you have to follow, right? I started to really learn and understand that what good is knowledge if the knowledge keeps changing and keeps getting upgraded? What use is that timeless information, right? So I first and foremost doubled down on figuring out the truth for myself, right? When I first started, and you might be on this process, I'm still seeking my truth, still seeking my truth. But it's coming from this reactive mentality where you're being at the effect of other spiritual teachers. You're not really accessing the guru within, the Wahaguru, as they'd say in Sikhism, right? You're not tapping into that divine gnosis or Sophia that you can tap into your divine spark in Gnosticism, right? You aren't tapping into maybe that nirvana chakra or whatever, right? So it's very important that you get a basic fundamental of this, okay? So let me just, this is gonna be heady, bro. So just get strapped in, man, okay? Because I'm gonna share a lot. Let me just see here. Okay, so the gunas. I wanted to share a little bit about this because I've been talking about it in a few long time videos ago, but I think this is very, very valid, okay? This is how I understand these energies now. And this is what made me go more towards being a spiritual pioneer as I understood very, very key principles. So one, of course, is the chakra system, but then we also have the gunas. These are like attributes, okay? So what are the gunas? Basic, it's the fundamental universe has three modes of operation, okay? You have activity, rest, and the one that governs the activity and rest in alignment with nature, which is called sattva. So intensity, rest, and the balance in between, okay? So notice that if you are messed up in that, right, and your environment, your inner world and outer world are fucked up, right? You're like trying to say things and do things, but they're happening a different way in your external world. That means that your rest or action is being tinkered with, right? You're either burning out and then you're resting, and then you're becoming depressed, right? Depressed. You need deep rest now. So you're depressed and then you're taking overaction, and you're becoming aggressive. When it's not going your way, you're becoming aggressive, you're becoming angry. Okay. So if you have activity and rest and if it's not aligning to your environment, you'll be in a balance, and that balance is, you know, balance is called sattvas, but if you're out of balance, you don't have that sattvic quality or that peaceful quality, you can call it, right? So you notice the symbol behind me, right? The yin and yang. This is the symbol of yin and yang. They are separate, but they're also in unity, okay? So they're not contradictory, they're complementary. They balance each other out, okay? This is a harmonious relationship. This is a understanding of polarity, right? It has a lot of understandings in the universe. Now, the Taiji symbol, the yin yang together, the circle around it, that is when the yin yang is balanced, right? So that would be more of the sattvic than rajasic tamasic, right? Sorry, this would be more rajas. This would be more tamas, I would say. It's light and dark, okay? So I'm just going to share something on my screen here, okay? Bum, 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 bum. Okay. All right, can you guys see this? I hope you can, whatever, okay? So sattvic is like balance, harmony, positive, peace, clarity, light, creativity, openness, intelligence, right? This is what we want. We want to tap into that zero state, right? That meditative state. Rajas is like movement, activity, excitement, passion, desire, agitation, anxiety, egotism, right? This is the world that we're living in. It's very rajasic, right? It's like, go, let's go. Grant Cardone 10x this shit, baby. Oh, but also I'm stressed the fuck out. I need a little bit of sattvic too. And then the tamasic is like, oh, okay, inertia, inactivity, negative, apathetic, dull, dark, delusional, very depressed, ignorant about certain things, right? Drinking, over consuming alcohol, over consuming drugs. This is why the left-hand tantric path is more so tamasic, right? Whereas you see like the Rajas path, which I love the warrior path more so because I get to swing around my gutta, right? when I swing around my gutta, I'm tapping into that warrior path in order for me to then transcend and actually take it to the highermost level of that tamasic understanding, or if I ever do get initiated in that, okay? But I have more of this level of balance or harmony, you could say. So I have this sattvic understanding that this is like the glue, right? So this is the revealing power. So this is the veiling power, the projecting power, and the revealing power. I think that's a really great way to understand this. And as a flow state coach, this is giving me different ideas, right? The darkness inertia, the light balance, and the energy of the activity itself. Okay. Now let's look at the chakras. We're focusing on the 10 here. So the Earth Star, which is between your knees, then you have the root, and then you have the middle of your chest. You have some of these, you have the sacral, then you have the solar plexus of your heart, then you have the higher heart, okay? The thymus chakra. Then you go into the throat, then you have the third eye, then you have the crown. A lot of people don't also know this. There's a hidden 10th gate chakra in the back of your head. It's where the Feng Fu point, you would say, in Chinese meridian medicine. But if you ever put an ice cube here and melt it on this point, you'll notice how much energy, Rajashic energy, that you get afterwards, right? It's unbelievable, right? It's like a refresh button almost. But this is also, this is one of the hidden ones that really help you access these understandings. So understand it's going from very tamasic to rajasic, like our heart is always beating, right? We're always speaking things and communicating things. So it's going slowly, if you notice, guys, the secret. Okay. This is how my brain works, right? So I understand these principles, and now using my knowledge and background, spiritual tech, flow state science, performance science, bring it all together, helping the populace through that. That's how I found my purpose, and that's how I'm glowing up every single day, you see? So understand this, okay? It's very powerful. So then you have of course, the sattvic at the top more so, right? The balance, the peace, the unity, the love at the top of your head. But also what's really interesting is this reminds me of the flow cycle, right? So you have the rajasic struggle, the letting go or release into this flow, this balance, right? This balance being the sattvic, and then eventually you need the rest or the tamas, right? You need to rest it out. And this is, again, tamasic way would also be like psychedelic way, because you're getting back into like using substances, right? You're either numbing the body, or you're changing, you're altering the sensations of the body, right? The lymph flow, the heart flow. The chakras are placed where all the nadis meet, right? So some people I know in the DSM, they probably added Kundalini syndrome or psychosis nowadays. So it's an actual thing, guys. When people, they go into like their life is like an endless LSD trip, right? They get so popped out of reality that they get stuck in these loops. And the only way you can probably get yourself out of that is probably visit a guru, okay? That's where you would go to an expert, okay? And really understand how to unwind and fix it. I'm not saying I'm not an expert, but again, if it gets very, very extreme, go and see someone who has spent their entire life studying this, okay? So, hey, if they're 80 years old, they probably have something to teach you from all the years of, consuming that information. They probably have a couple of things to share, okay? Let's just say they've seen the patterns over so many years that they have wisdom now, okay? So I like to go towards practitioners who are very refined into their craft, and I notice the difference from them and other teachers. I go to those teachers, and I don't seek them out. They find me, right? They suddenly find me on a YouTube video. They suddenly find me on these different quests or whatever, right? It just comes to me. So earlier, what I used to do is I used to spam YouTube videos, like one video after another video on another video on another video on another video. But then I also started to teach on my YouTube, right? So what I did is I took all the information and then I made it flow naturally through my mouth. And then what started to happen is I started to notice this natural flow, right? This natural spiritual essence in the background. And then I started to really see the overlaps and things, right? Because the power you're going to get right now is in the overlaps. I'm telling you that right now. You right now, you're too scattered and you need to be like a laser beam, right? You need to be focused in, honed in. And that has been my journey. Okay. So in the beginning parts of my journey and my coaching journey and so forth, I just went in with this scattered mentality and approach, not knowing how I can adopt it into more of a polymath frequency and interlock and weave this tantric experience of mine. Okay. Now, another thing I wanted to speak about, guys, is the idea of Mahavidya. So if you notice these chakras right here, there are technically 10 of these, right? But there's also these 10 Mahavidyas, okay? These tantric goddesses, okay? Kali Tara, Tripura Sundari, Bhuvaneshwari, Bhairavi, Chinnamasa, Dhumavati, Manglamukhi, Matangi, and Kamala, okay? Each of these goddesses play a significant role in different traditions: Vajrayana, Vaishnavism, Shaivism, Shaktism, okay? And you notice that their energy is very like, it's there, right? It's like, boom, you can't ignore this energy because it's so visceral, it's so towards the truth that you can't help but embellish in it, almost like certain like alchemical drawings, if you've ever seen them, right? They kind of have this quality to them, right? So these Mahavidyas, I mean, as you're going through the chakras, you're actually meeting the goddesses. So you're leveling up and you're meeting these goddesses, but also start to understand that as we do our path working at Primal Sutra, we understand that each chakra point is a different portal and a different deity within itself, right? So this I started to learn after doing a lot of work with the Spiral program from two practitioners who were taught under Dane Thomas. And each time I felt like I almost rogue X-Men their skills, okay? I still believe it to this day. That I understood how to do what they were doing, right? And I quickly understood a way to hack it. By what? By going back to my understandings of the source, okay? And slowly enough, I went to a very dark occult phase, again, having God bring me back into the center point on the middle path, right? So this is how it happened. It was like vortex energy, right? So my earlier path, I was like, let me read all of these books and then I'll feel satisfied or at peace. Now I'm like, let me open a random page in this book, get one golden nugget and make a video on it. Application, okay, over the what? Thinking about it, ruminating, going into this endless kind of hypnotic trance of spirituality, right? Using it as sedation, using it as an escape, using it as a tool to manipulate others, using it as a tool to bypass others, right? It gets corrupted. And it did get corrupted for me, I believe. But nowadays, I'm finding my truth. I'm finding that vigilance and authenticity within, giving myself a break, not like constantly needing to propel these ideas of me out there, right? Like you guys who watch my YouTube channel, you guys know me really. But people who see my social media, maybe not so much, Maybe not so much. Maybe they get it, but they're getting like little highlights of that, right? They're not getting this full visceral experience of like a teacher in a classroom, talking about Mahavidyas to you, right? So tamasic sadhana is letting go of all, I mean, think about it. You're becoming a nobody from a somebody. Well, the somebody is the ego, so you're not even needing that. It's more so a warrior to a nobody, right? And again, just like Jesus sacrificed himself for all his sins, Shiva stopped the poison, So these higher beings, they're actually saying it don't matter if you're toxic, I'm gonna take it out of you. Okay? So understand that if you can let go of your fears, you can be a nobody. If you still have fears harboring inside of you, you still haven't tapped into that warrior energy. Because the warrior moves without fear, right? And it's about having a heightened awareness, not always an altered awareness. This is what I had to learn the hard way through, exploring different things, like experimental things, like trying all sorts of breathwork, kundalini, different types of, experimentation, psychedelics, all this kind of stuff that I was doing, but I wasn't really getting the visceral, spiritual awakening in a sense. I wasn't really ascending through the process and actually giving back with this wisdom, right? It was kind of just a spinning around, chasing my own tail, which is interesting because that's the Ouroboros as well, right? It's the energy of understanding that and really being accustomed to the spiral energy or the cycling energy, which is a feminine energy of the world moving. Okay. So understand that you got to have a purpose for all of these powers and spiritual gifts and, your flow state essence to emerge. You got to have a purpose for that. And it doesn't mean you have to skip to the end of the finish line to find that purpose. You got to start with that childlike curiosity and then explore what you're truly passionate about. And what you're truly passionate about is going to help you grow the most. This is what people don't understand. What you're truly passionate about is where you will see the most levels of your growth through your character. Okay. So why do you need a gun if you aren't going to use it, right? Now, I'm not saying go and shoot people, okay? Some people misunderstand these videos, so I have to make it clear for, complete buffoonery. However, that's a different topic, gun control and all. That's a whole rabbit hole, okay? But what I would say is like, you have all of these tools, but you're not using them. You know about the mantra that you're supposed to do, but there's still fear or some kind of a I don't know what it is, man. It's a lack of trust or just like a kind of scattered feeling or a lack of trust in the advice that you've been given or a mix of information, right? You're consuming information on one side for different people on the levels of the spiritual journey. And then you're consuming some other bit of information that isn't aligning to that. And then you're thinking that one's wrong. I'm going to go with this one. And you're picking sides and you're losing out on the substance of one over the other. And you can't discern between bits of information, right? This is where the chaos starts happening. This is where two different path workings just don't fit. You're like, I'll pray to Kali, I'll pray to Buddha, I'll do this, I'll do that, right? And it gets scattered. Now, what I would advise you do, and this is what helps me, is have one main one and then have little other path workings and pantheons be ones that support that on the side. So my one is basically more so a Vajrayana Hinduism dominant. However, there is other path workings like, that kind of come out of the other woodworks on the other side, all right? So on both sides, you could say. So it could be Agwe's energy for the water from the Yoruba tradition, yeah, or the Orisas. And it could be, King Nixa, the elemental king of water, still connecting through the theme of water, still connecting through the theme of Varuna in the Indian path working. And this was Varuna's steed, the Makara. Okay. So again, it's like all one theme of water, right? Scorpio gang gang, okay? Coming through, right? With this ripple effect energy, touching the stream of all of these deities so that I can pull them in and I can start crushing it. So I decided I'm going to be the flow state master, guys. I decided that and I went forward with it. Okay. A lot of you guys are watching one of my old videos, which was the Ultra Instinct video, right? Got a lot of hits, views, whatever, comments from random people or kids. Someone commented recently, Jimmy watches this before his fight at the lunch room downstairs or something. He commented, right? And I said, oh, why isn't he asking Cosmo and Wanda for help? Okay. So obviously I'm joking, but like, yo, kids shouldn't even be watching these videos and then going in and fighting with it. Okay. That was not my intention with that video. I'm sure you guys know that, but kids don't know that. Okay. They think Ultra Instinct is real and they can actually do this thing. I'm just saying, if it was real, that's what it would be like. And that's how we would understand it, right? Through our physical understandings in this incarnation in 2024, right? That's what we know, okay? Rest in peace, Toriyama, or the creator of Dragon Ball Z. Okay, Akira, what was his name? Creator of Akira Toriyama, right? Rest in peace, Akira Toriyama. All right. So any questions, guys, so far? So what I really did was I understood how to make this into a water practice. Okay. So imagine like if I drip water in the front of this part, like of my head, right on the crown, like, and I let it drip down the front of my third eye, you know, and it's gonna what? It's gonna drip down my beard. It's gonna touch my throat or my heart, and then it's gonna go down my solar plexus and my sacral, and it's gonna, you know, go and even touch my knees. Perhaps I can keep my knees near the water too, so it activates my Earth star, right? So what I'm doing is I'm using this is actually a technique that I've adopted from pranic healing. I just want to be very open and transparent about the tools that I'm using. This is a tool that a lot of pranic healers use. They call it the waterfall meditation. Okay. So it's a just they envision that the water that is falling on them is purifying them, and it's coming from a space of love, and it's cleaning them out basically, right? It's purifying them and taking away all this emotional, energetic gunk down the drain. It's kind of like a shower meditation, but if you do this, I do this every day. So, and I use sea salt soap. That's also a hack, okay? That we use at Primal Sutra. If you can find dead sea salt soap, or just type in sea salt soap, or just take a dip in the sea. If you're in the ocean, you're good, right? However, but again, we can't always go to the ocean every day, right? Unless you're living like a bohemian lifestyle or whatever by the beach. Um, if you are, that's great, right? Just take a dip in the pool. But sea salt soap is also very easy to find. I think in big cities, you can just check Amazon, check different people that you know. Um, can it be just like regular salt, like you put it on your skin? Yeah, you can do that too. I like it in the form of a soap. It's just easier, right? You just use that sea salt soap to clean yourself, exfoliate the pores and so forth, so you can get your aura shining and gleaming, right? So knowing these little practices, they've given me the confidence and the courage to then promote it, right? Like as a spiritual pioneer, I'm sitting here and telling you, like, yo, take Shilajit. It's gonna help you, right? And how do you spell that? Okay. Shilajit. Okay. This is it. Okay. Not this one, okay, but the actual tar, okay? What is this stuff, man? It's natural Himalayan resin. Okay, it's from the earth. Now, what are the benefits of this? I love the third eye value. So the one that I use, guys, is called Capiva. And this I'm not even sponsored by these guys, but yo, this stuff has changed me, bro. Has changed me as I started going to the gym. This was actually something that my trainer, shout out to Yo Honey Singer, okay, Honey, at Fitbull Gym in Kolkata, okay. He taught me about this supplement. Now, this supplement will absolutely change your life. I sound like I sound like one of those sales guys, right? Like, hey, buy the Shilajit. It's so legit. Okay. Shilajit to quit, man. Jay Kaizen also talks about this, right? Like in a lot of his Instagram. He's trying to pummel it out there as like some kind of cracker source, right? He's trying to give you the plug, right, in the US. So if you want, go to Jay Kaizen's profile if you want, man. I want to give that guy support irregardless. He's bringing in these ancient, Hindu teachings through a very mainstream American audience, right? I love that shit, bro. I'm actually trying to do that too in my own way. Obviously very different, very, very different, you could say our content is. But I see the overlap, and I understand the value of something like Shilajit because of the third eye benefits, but also the energy, the hormonal balance, right? For males and females. A lot of people are like, oh, but isn't this just for guys, for testosterone? No, women should be having Shilajit as well. I truly believe that. Okay. It's the maintenance of the energy, and it's also the ashwagandha in it that really helps me tap into this kind of peacefulness, but also this kind of this rajasic tamasic sattvic balance. Find it comes up with this, bro. I don't know why, but then there's versions of it where I'll take this and I'll mix it with my coffee in the morning, or what I'll do is I'll just have it with like hot water. So I'll take a little bit of this like ooey gooey kablooey stuff, right? okay? This black tar heroin, right? I'll take this stuff and I'll put it into warm water, okay? Just chug it up. You'll feel the difference. Some people don't like this taste. I don't like the taste of this one, to be honest. This is why I rather prefer this one. No, not the capsules, but this one. Gold muesli, turmeric, and gold flakes. There's like these resin flakes with the ashwagandha and the shilajit together. Ooh, this supplement is like my favorite. If I had to be trapped in a desert island, I would have this one, straight up. And this is how I've simplified my life, guys, over the years, right? I used to be so obsessed with so many supplements, bro. If you saw my dormitory in college, you guys would know what I'm talking about. I used to look like a madman. It's like imagine if I was prescribed all that, like medication. I'd look like I was mentally insane, bro. The amount of supplements that I had. Okay? Omega 3s, this multivitamin, this reishi mushroom, this other thing, this next thing. Okay, one time I had yohimbe or whatever, and it fucked me up real good, okay? I was like trying to hack erections or whatever during the time. I was trying to be like, can I get another erection if I have like that refractory period where I nut, right? Can I get another erection really fast after that? Um, Nowadays, I don't know. Maybe I'll ask Chief Deno. Chief Deno will probably tell me something like eat some garlic or, like, or some shit, weird shit that I had to apply again to a modern context because I mean, who wants to make love with someone with garlic breath unless, I don't know, you hate vampires or some shit. So, you know what I mean? So it's got to be in a modern context. Let me actually check if there are any comments here. Uh, Boom, 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 boom. Deep Purple, anyone? No? Okay. So, okay, cool. We got IC222. He says, yo, using my alone time in office to join your call. Yes, good topic. I observe myself doing spiritual bypassing. Focusing on spaciousness is a personal key for me. As always, taking notes. Thoth. Amazing. The scribe. Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Okay, good, man. Yeah, whenever I notice my spiritual bypassing, I just know my ego's clinging too hard on the topic, right? It's like it needs to feel supported and in that particular way. So yeah, I would agree. A spaciousness is a great way to melt that away. Okay. Now, I understood something very powerfully yesterday, guys. Okay. And it was a conversation that I had with my mother. And it was during this Scorpio like intensity I was feeling, this rage, right? During the time. And, we were just making personal points on different things. And I was really like setting down my boundaries with her, right? I was like, no, you've said this before. Like, don't emotionally manipulate me in any way. That's not going to work with me. Right? I was just stating it, stating it, stating it. And then I got to this point where I was like, I understand that she's just trying to help me, bro. You get it? Like, I was taking it in such a different way that I didn't understand she was trying to come from love, but her love was maybe distorted through all this information and worry and panic that she had within herself that's being projected outwards. And then as it's being projected outwards, I'm listening to the projection instead of what? Understanding the being underneath, right? The soul underneath. If I started to speak to the soul of my mother rather than my mother's egoic perception of what I feel like she has or some hidden agenda against me or some assumption I'm making about her, right? That's going to create that morphic resonance between us. Instead, I'm like, I just see the being. I recognize the being, right? Underneath. That's not her, right? This is maybe, hey, demons work through your own parents too at times, bro. Straight up, you know? You'll have different entities show up in different people at times, and that's not them. You know it's not them, right? So it's like that was my big kind of epiphany yesterday. And now in the night, when I saw the pink moon outside, I was like kind of weaving in and out. I was doing a lot of rituals. I was doing a Shiva Shakti meditation. I went into this deep trance. I woke up at like 3:33. I looked out the window. It still wasn't, I didn't see the moon. I wanted to see the moon. And then I was like, I messaged Ryan G and I just went back to sleep. And then I woke up again and then I caught the moon again. And then I went back to sleep, right? So that was my last night. So I'm a bit like, whoa, there's this very bouncy type of energy. What was going on with my sleep disturbance? Or maybe it was like an awakening or a realization that I needed to confront something or do something. But yeah, alone time, aka all one time, right? Alone is all one. I'm all at one with me, which is being alone is not a disconnected state, it's a connected state. That's what I mean by that, right? Being alone is like I'm connected to the earth, right? There's this marble floor that I'm connected to, but also the metals of the earth's ore, right? The iron, the desk is made out of wood, from trees. And so technically I am connected to nature even when I'm sitting at home. You see, like these beads are made out of seeds. I'm already connected to nature. You see, but a lot of people are like, I need it. I need to go outside. You see the attachment for that? I need to be in a garden with lots of flowers in order for me to recognize that I'm a part of nature so I can give myself that permission slip to then relax. Rather than what? Yo, I have these flowers here. Check them out. They're fake flowers, by the way, but it's like, yo, I have the energy of a flower around me, so I'm gonna bloom. My brain doesn't know the difference. This flower, real flower, it just understands the concept of flower and pretty. You know? If you can't enjoy solitude, your ego is attached to have people around you. Straight up, man. Yeah. Yeah, if you're not your best company, then fire them. Okay. Yeah, man, your own solitude, right? Sol, the sun, right? Your own solitude. So it's a very masculine quality to go into your man cave. You need that solitude, that sunlight energy again. So what? You can get back to shining. You need the solitude to become the Sol with attitude. Ooh, that's a quotable. In some weird way, I had it reversed as I wanted to be alone as too many people wanted something. Ah, gotcha. But also maybe you're giving out that energy that you were like their antidepressant or whatever, or that you were their solution. Um, so yeah, being aware of like who we think ourselves to be, like I've noticed myself stepping into many different roles or personas that I mean they don't resonate now, but at the time they did, right? Like I would play a coach as a boyfriend to my girlfriend, and that just didn't go well. It just wasn't loving. It wasn't that frequency that was needed at the time. It was from my own egoic like projection understanding of like, let me use this coaching technique on my girl, right? Or whatever. And that's just, it's not going to work for you, bro. Like that, I mean, the brother frame can work because why? If you're a friendly brother and sister dynamic with a girl, that actually is very similar to a boyfriend girlfriend teasing dynamic, right? That's why it does work, not because it's incest or you weirdos, fucking pervs, okay? But I'm saying it's because it works in the dynamic because it has that playfulness, and playfulness is that language of connecting with the feminine, right? In some weird way. Oh yeah, I ordered that. Oh, okay. Yeah. You ordered it from the universe, the menu. What are you gonna have today, sir? Right? Like McDonald's drive-through or whatever, Universal drive-through. Um, yeah, I want a giant tiki outside my house, one that lights up, you know, every time you walk past it and it creeps out the neighbors. Coming right up, sir. Would you like fries with that? Okay. Always fries, right there. It's like it's always the side dishes, right? That the universe tries to hand you. It's like, no, give me the main thing, bro. But yeah, fries are great. There's a reason why, there's a story about potatoes, right? Potatoes were like protected. Was it like Denmark or whatever? I don't remember. They were like potato farmers or whatever. They only selected the rich to eat potatoes. But then again, why would you have a carb be a representative of a person? Because you're gonna get overweight as a king, I guess. You're not gonna be like, I don't know, man. That's very strange to me how there's so many overweight kings. Do you guys get that? Like, isn't that weird? I would imagine that a lot of kings would be very strong in their musculature or their structures, right? That's bizarre to me. Huh? I guess the idea of wealth was different back then, right? The idea of wealth was it like that? That you were just not paying attention to your health at all? But what good is wealth if you're not healthy, bro? Don't forget to pay the bill. Fuck yeah, bro. Um, but it's like, yo, a lot of people they work at these soul-sucking ventures, you know? Like at some level, you gotta be like, yo, right? I have a different path to this. I'm using this as a stepping stone, right? And you gotta find a way to like bypass the annoying like resistance in your head. Burn it at your root chakra, right? Or whatever. But yeah, man, this I've been getting this understanding. So if I were to speak to my younger self right now, I would tell him, yo, go on a spiritual binge, opposite of a binge, right? A spiritual detox where you only read like 2 or 3 spiritual self-help books a month, right? And you go through that book and you don't even like, you have to use each chapter of the book you're reading, right? So you have to actually make use of the information that you're gathering, right? In some way. Either you can post about it, post a quote to your audience, right? Post something that resonates with people that gets them to latch onto that idea and maybe change their perception of that, right? So do something with it. So universe be like payment upfront, please. Yeah, exactly, right? Um, the universe is a multi-dimensional creature that really the universe is a deity if you think about it, right? Like because once you pass all of the gunas, you get to Shiva, right? Like when you go beyond the Rajas, the Tamas, and the Sattvic, then there's only Shiva. So it's really important to understand that what is the real key to your wisdom alongside your desires, right? So you have a specific desire, like caffeine for me relies on its immediate effect and it gets me dependent. So I love the shit though, man. I don't know how I'm gonna uh unwire this. I'm trying to decaf, but it's not the same, it's just I just like that taste for some reason. Maybe I'll mix Shilajit with it, make it a little bit more enjoyable. But whatever, man. I understood this because I was doing a little bit of research into what was it again? Oh, I didn't take any notes for that. Honestly, thought I took notes. But anyway, my ideas of hard work started to change over the years. And I understood that hope can be a powerful emotion that can help us overcome very challenging times, you know? Yeah, 1 to 2 cups is the best. I agree with you, Mathis. I don't think you should go beyond like the certain limit, Because yeah, just like figuring out your own balance with it, right? Figuring out the way that you most thrive and it doesn't like fizzle you out or whatever, right? That's the real goal of it, I think. It's with anything, right? Yeah, moderation, temperance. the stoic value, the stoic virtues, right? Courage, justice, all of those really, wisdom. You know, we had a test. I'm going through one of these psychology quiz things again, just because I like learning. I'm not doing it to get a teaching certification or whatever here. I really, that doesn't, like, teaching you guys is the main gift for me. Like, that's what I enjoy. So whether I teach you or not, it's not, I'm not attached to that. I'm more interested in like the different psychological tools, right, that I can apply and apply it with the spiritual knowledge that I already have. That's where I'm looking from. Heart knows, it reads instinct, I think. Lower chakras, instincts, lower chakras, and uses intuition, higher chakras. Yeah, man. This is where it all goes down, right? I mean, think about it, like the Christ oil or whatever, it's infusing and it's coming up here. Like Christ is pointing to here, right? To show us like this is the way, this is the path, this is how you get the immortal body, right? And this is your remote control. This is like how you manifest. So yeah, man, the heart holds this kind of feeling memory, right? I find it interesting that this kid came up to what's that guy's name? Nityananda? Should I show you guys that? That's so funny to me. Kind of man. Let me show you guys this if I saved it. I don't know if I saved it. Yeah, I did save it. What about the mosquito rats we killed before? Will it come to us as bad karma? Yes, you will have to clean them. You will have to clean those bad karmas. How do we do that? Now with this Shivoham process, I will clean your biomemory so that you don't do that again. That's all. Momiji? That kid needs to get out of there ASAP, bro. That kid needs to go to like some kind of like arts and crafts studio and start just exploring his spirituality there. Because let me heal your biomemory first, and then you know, through the Shivoham process. He might have a process. I'm not like, maybe that's a projection onto him, but I do know the stories behind him. If you guys have seen the documentary and so forth about this guy, some of his concepts actually work, but the thing about it is like too much distortion with the gold nuggets of information, you know? So it's like difficult to weed through as a mystic. Let me see. This is funny. I don't know why Jay Sri Ram is such like a, it's become a meme now, right? Based Sanatan, you know, all these like, I feel like each religion is trying to like create like a hive mind of each of the meme lords, right? In each hive mind of group. So there'll be like Buddhist memes versus Hindu memes, you know? Or like Christian memes versus Muslim memes, you know? What about the Crusades, bro? And shit like this. And then I'll see this on my social media and I'll be like, why aren't these guys finding similarities? Why are they only finding separation and differences? Well, because they are separated from it. That's what I didn't realize, right? They're separate from the experience. They're trying to create more that troll like trickster energy, right? Now I'm realizing I can really help people with this information and raise that prana up, or understanding prana has its natural flow outside of the physical internal body, right? As well. And once you know the relationship between you and your environment, the action rest potential, right? As we saw in the gunas, we can really take this thing over, right? Knowing when to rest, knowing when to take action, and in between, right? The governing, the observer that governs those two, right? In alignment with the environment and nature. So if it's, again, you could be resting, but in an environment that's terrible for you to rest. You could be taking action, but that action could be going against the feedback of the environment. Maybe you're doing something great, but that environment does not recognize it. You're amongst sheep, you know? at a lion movie theater, right? And so you're enjoying the lion movie, but the sheep are going, this movie's whack, right? So you got to find your tribe. You got to find that resonance, that ripple of your inner circle of people who just resonate, you know, with these different things. Because isn't it great to be able to actually explore these topics instead of being afraid of talking about it or whatever? Oh, yeah, I never talk about the afterlife. That's something that I'll never know. I don't know, right? And therefore I won't touch it. Rather than what? It's like, so what if what comes after is good or isn't good? I know I have a knowingness that I've been through many lifetimes, bro, learning this stuff already, and each time that I come back it's like a different inference. It's not even me, right? It's not even Sumit Chatterjee. That's the thing, right? It's the energy or the consciousness behind me, the mind that is eternal, right? That has kept going. So the mind is kept going. The body has died, right? But the mind has gone. But I've also I posted like at 3:30 last night. I posted on my Instagram peace of mind and then peace from mind, right? Really, we want peace from mind. We don't want peace of mind, right? Yes, we understand that the Buddha mind or the Buddha, the compassion mind, the bodhicitta, I get that. But the normies don't get that, you see? So they use the word peace of mind. I'm saying for the layman to understand this, it's got to be peace from mind. You see? You need to feel embodied as well as have insights and, greater revelations through your mental world. So when the mind and the body come together, this is what Haru has taught us, right? Horus, through the recording, the masculine, feminine energy coming together. We each have it, and it's through our heart mind. We have that coherence. And when we can tap into that coherence, this is why when you have a panic attack, you feel this sense of separateness, but then you do something like a butterfly hug, and then you calm yourself down. Why? Because you're tapping into the opposite hemispheres. You're balancing out your logic and your emotions again. Think about it. And as you do that, you get connected again. You start connecting to who you really are. You stop becoming so distant from your experience, becoming more numb from your experience, right? Connect with it more. So that's what I'm reading and that's what I'm picking up. But yeah, man, thank you for tuning in. This has been a while. I'm going to end it right here. Have an incredible day. May the flow be with you. Enjoy your alone time, Mathis. Let's get it. Solitude.